Let's bring in former Google and Meta executive Rob Leathern, talk more about this, Rob, but we appreciate the time today. I guess I'm wondering whether or not you think Altman's testimony here is useful, and if it is useful, do the senators know what to do with it?
Well, I think it is useful. I think we're going to need to have a lot more of these discussions. Government and these technology companies and third-party scientists are going to have those discussions, because this technology is very complex. It has some amazing positive use cases, but without really having deeper understanding of this, I don't think government is in a position to really regulate it. And we've also seen, in the U.S., we've been slow we have no federal privacy regulation, unlike in the EU. So there's a lot here for the government folks to do in getting there.
What do you make of the argument that, calling for regulation now that you're one of the key players in the industry is essentially pulling the ladder up from startups that are just getting underway now? Is that fair?
Yeah, I think there is something there. I think, this is also, you hear the same thing from Google talking about wanting regulation, wanting clear guidelines. I think there is an aspect of that. But I think also these companies are going to have to put in place a lot of safeguards as well on the developers that use their tools. So this is a case for OpenAI. It will also be the case for Google. So there's a lot for them to also do. And it is a bit of an inevitable approach that they're going to want regulation. I think they're also going to want the regulation that makes sense. So I expect there to be a lot of back and forth in this discussion.
You were at Meta, right? Senior Director of Product. You were at Google. Is this going to be harder or easier to figure out how to legislate than social media and the internet, which they never figured out?
I think it's very difficult. For example, if you just look at the case of Google, not only is Google going to provide tools that allow people to create AI-based content, they're also going to have to care for how that content is distributed in their own product, whether it's a YouTube video or in search. And they also have the problem I mentioned before, which is they have to police developers using these tools through third-party APIs or cloud services. So, I think for some of these larger enterprises, it's going to be more than just the content angle and what content is created, whether that's misinformation or being used by bad actors. There's actually going to be a variety of different fronts that they're going to have to address this and these tools and technologies on.
Meanwhile, Rob, Nadella spoke to our Andrew Ross Sorkin today and argues that the design choices they're making right now are actually moving net in the right direction. And he points out that's why they're calling it Copilot and not autopilot, and that it is a cooperative existence with these machines. Is that legitimate messaging?
Look, I think based on where these tools are right now, I don't think you can really turn them in a full auto mode. There's a really fun video on someone had ChatGPT try to play chess against Bard, and of course, the results were quite hilarious. So I think you're not really in a position yet where these tools can be used in an automated way fully. People are starting to string those things together using their APIs. So I do think that there are going to have to be guardrails, and we're going to have to watch out for when these tools are used in a completely closed-loop fashion where there's no human oversight. But I do believe that those things are coming. And so I think it's the right discussion to have about preparing for that future right now.
Amazing that we're just getting started on this and learning so much. Rob, thanks a lot. We'll talk again soon, I hope.